Hi guys, what is up? Today I've got some footage of a cake I made for my dad. As you can see, I like baking. All very homemade looking, but I find it a lot of fun. And of course you're not going to get an Irish Phonebox cake anywhere, so I had to make my own. So I started off by making a load of coffee cakes, and they turned out pretty well. I like baking, so I don't mind all of this stuff. But I did have to make a lot of cake, and then it still wasn't enough because it just needed to be so tall, so I ended up buying a lot of cake as well. So I did this completely the wrong way, but I bought fondant and I wanted to colour it green, so I used liquid green colouring. I couldn't find that gel stuff that everyone uses, and this was like a total mess. And I totally destroyed our countertop. This is the base I'm going to use. It's just one of those cardboard things. I just reused it by putting fresh tin foil on it. I've got one of these floury shakery things from Penny's that I'm using for the icing sugar, and I'm rolling it out with a rolling pin. So this is a total mess, and you'll just see me completely destroy my countertop, but enjoy. So obviously I wasn't very well prepared for this, because if I was, I would have bought that gel food colouring stuff, but I couldn't find any in the shop I was in. So look at the mess I made. But anyway, also this makes it like super sticky and just like completely like really hard to work with. I think I'm just adding some like coffee in with this as well, so it's not like such a like gross green, because it was coming out like just really cartoony. So yeah, this is just to cover the base to make it look like grass. So next up, I'm just assembling the cakes. I have frozen them to make it a bit taller. I should also say I looked up like how to make a TARDIS cake, because it was like the closest thing I could find. So I got some good tips from that. I'm just using coffee buttercream icing also. So they're shop bought Madeira cakes. I just found them easiest because they're really blocky. And then these are my own cakes going on top, so then at least we can like eat them. I'm putting like a layer of walnuts in between each. I'm sitting on the couch with Jane, so you can see his feet. But yeah, so I'm watching TV while I do this because it took so long. I'm also going to reinforce it with like really long skewers, and that'll just keep it from like leaning, even though it does look a bit like the leaning tower of Phonebox, I guess. But yeah, it sort of kept it from falling down completely. Here I'm just applying coffee buttercream icing all over. You can see it's really starting to lean now, and it was quite precarious. But yeah, I'm just using a piping bag, and these disposable ones are great. And just a butter knife to like spread it all around. Because the cakes were frozen, it really helps as well, them from like crumbling and everything. And then I'm just going to pop it in the fridge. Okay, so another tip I got from the TARDIS video, which I will link below, is to cut out the panels the day before. So I cut these out of fondant the day before to let them dry out, but to be honest it didn't really work because I painted them with liquid food colouring. Again, another rookie error, but it was fine. I ended up sticking them on with buttercream and it stayed on. So here are the windows of the Phonebox that I'd cut out with just a knife, and now I'm colouring them in with some like white chocolate writing icing stuff that I bought in the shop. I ended up just buying whatever I could find in the baking aisles, but like if you planned ahead, I feel like you could get way better tools than I did. Okay, because one of the sides of the Phonebox is actually just a rectangle of green, I decided to keep it accurate, you know, for my dad. And I put his Instagram name on it, which is @PhoneboxMan. Go check him out. So yeah, again, very homemade, but here we are. Now I'm trying to put up the sides of the Phonebox. You'll see that it began to crack horrendously on the side that's facing the camera, and you can tell I'm very stressed. This took me like 2 days, I swear, and at the end of it, it was still like lopsided, and like I expected it to why do I always expect this? But I expected it to look like something you'd buy in a shop. Like, why would I expect that? I don't know. I guess like I'm like, I've baked before. Of course it's gonna look like something I've bought in a shop. So yeah, I put it in this fridge for ages because I was really worried about it collapsing. And yeah, I just covered everything with fondant. and I just wrote little signs that said telephone. They're not edible, but my dad loved it, and that's the main thing. So yeah, I think Sue was impressed too. I hope you like this video, and I know it might not come in handy for anyone, but maybe someone someday will have to make an Irish Phonebox cake and they will find these tips useful. Have a great week, guys. Bye.